words of our Divine Mother. From the book Words of the Mother, Volume 14, topic Purity and Humility. Purity. Our Divine Mother says purity is the best of powers. This is purity, to accept no other influence but only the influence of the divine. On earth, true purity is to think as the divine thinks, to will as the divine wills, to feel as the divine feels. If one lives only for the divine, and by the divine there follows a perfect purity. Purity is perfect sincerity, and one cannot have it unless the being is entirely consecrated to the divine. Question, sweet mother, tell me how I can keep your service holy and free from the slightest stain of human impurity. Mother says, by wanting it and always aspiring for it. Integral purity, says our Divine Mother. Integral purity, the whole being is purified of the ego. Power of integral purity, the power to accept nothing but the divine influence. Mental purity, a mirror which does not distort. Perfect mental purity, a spotless mirror constantly turned towards the divine. Integral mental purity, silent, attentive, receptive, concentrated on the divine. This is the path to purity. Vital purity is to begin with the abolition of desire. Vital purity, as says our Divine Mother, begins with the abolition of desire. Collective purity, a very precious achievement but one difficult to obtain. Divine purity, it is happy just to be in all simplicity. Simplicity, says our Divine Mother, to express harmony of all things, simplicity is the best. There is a great beauty in simplicity. Integral simplicity is a simplicity which is the consequence of a perfect sincerity. Spirituality is supreme simplicity. True spirituality is very simple. Humility and modesty is the next topic. Our Divine Mother says humility is adorable in its simplicity. The greater beings are always the most simple and modest. Correct self-evaluation, simple and modest, does not try to push itself forward. Modesty is satisfied with its own charm and does not draw attention to itself. The more we advance on the path, the more modest we become, and the more we see that we have done nothing in comparison to what remains to be done. We must learn that whatever our efforts, whatever our struggles, whatever our even our victories, compared with the path still to be traversed, what we have already traveled is nothing. Do not think yourself big or small or important or unimportant, says our Divine Mother. For we are nothing in ourselves. We must only live to become what the divine wills of us. You are becoming very wise and approaching the realization that we are nothing. We know nothing and we can do nothing. Only the Supreme Divine knows and does and is. Our Divine Mother says, true humility consists in knowing that the Supreme Consciousness, the Supreme Will alone exists and that the I is not. To be humble means for the mind, the vital and the body never to forget that without the divine they know nothing, are nothing and can do nothing. Without the divine they are nothing but ignorance, chaos and impotence. The divine alone is truth, life, power, felicity. Therefore, the mind, the vital and the body must learn and feel once and for all that they are wholly incapable of understanding and judging the divine, not only in his essence but also in his action and manifestation. This is the only true humility, and with it come quiet and peace. This is also the surest shield against all hostile attack. Indeed, in the human being, it is always the door of pride at which the adversary knocks, for it is this door which opens to let them enter. Whatever is your personal value or even your individual realization, the first quality required in yoga is humility. In truth, sincere humility is our safeguard. It is the surest way to the indispensable dissolution of the ego. Humility and sincerity are the best safeguards. Without them, each step is a danger. With them, the victory is certain. Gratitude and faithfulness. Gratitude. Our Divine Mother says, gratitude, it is you who opened all the closed doors and let the grace which saves penetrate deeply. Gratitude is a loving recognition of the grace received from the Divine, a humble recognition of all that the Divine has done and is doing for you, the spontaneous feeling of obligation to the Divine, which makes you do your best to become less unworthy of what the Divine is doing for you. Detailed gratitude, the gratitude that awakens in us all the details of the divine grace. Integral gratitude, our Divine Mother says, the whole being offers itself to the Lord in absolute trust. Mental gratitude is the gratefulness of the mind for what makes it progress. The best way to express one's gratitude to the Divine is to feel simply happy. There is no better way to show one's gratefulness to the Divine than to be quite happy. To accept gladly what I give is never selfish. There is no better cure for egoism than a happy gratefulness. Always joyfully accept what is given you by the Divine. A self-willed man cannot be grateful because when he gets what he wants, he gives all the credit for it to his own will. And when he gets what he does not want, he resents it badly and throws all the blame on whomever he considers responsible, God, man, or nature. It is very difficult to keep our gratitude, says our Divine Mother. It is very difficult to keep your gratitude. For a time it comes very strongly and again it goes back. The Divine can go on tolerating everything in spite of your ingratitude because He knows fully the how and why and wherefore of everything. He knows why you are doing a certain thing. He knows the full working. That is why He can tolerate it. The nobility of a being, says our Divine Mother, the nobility of a being is measured by its capacity of gratitude. Faithfulness, says our Divine Mother, we can count on you. You never fail us when we need you. Incorruptible faithfulness, nothing can turn you away from the duty you have chosen. This is faithfulness to admit and to manifest no other moments, but only the moments prompted and guided by the Divine. The strength is always with you to be always faithful to the Divine will. In the present condition of the world, an absolute faithfulness to the Divine has become an indispensable need. Surely, when faithfulness prevails all around, it is time to be truly faithful and to stand untouched, unmoved in the storm. Faithfulness is a condition for peace and protection. Without faithfulness in one's consecration to the Divine, there can be no peace in the heart. Be faithful to the Divine and you will enjoy a constant peace. Be always faithful to your faith. You will feel no sorrow. Be simple, sincere, faithful in front of the grace which is constantly with you. The obedience to the Divine will must be total. These are the divine words of our Divine Mother.
Leaving the past far behind us, let us run towards the luminous future. Lord, the year is dying, and our attitude bows down to Thee. Lord, the year is reborn, our prayer rises up to Thee. Let it be for us also the dawn of a new life. Que la naissance de la nouvelle année soit une nouvelle naissance pour notre conscience, laissant le passé loin derrière nous, courons vers un avenir lumineux. Seigneur, l'année se meurt, et notre gratitude s'incline devant toi. Seigneur, l'année renaît et notre prière s'élève vers toi. Que cela soit pour nous aussi l'aurore d'une vie nouvelle.
Superno antarikshanyakhyat gavir vepahaya surah sunithah kvedanim suryah kaschita katamavyam rashmirasya tatana